Ever since I've been doing bullet journaling for the last couple of years, I've been really focusing on my goals, and more specifically, I've been focusing on my yearly goals. I realized that for me it's really beneficial to set up yearly goals because at the end of the year, when I look back and see how much I've accomplished, it really gives me motivation for the next year. So I've been doing it for a couple of years, except for 2023. I actually did not write down any goals for 2023. But for 2024, I definitely want to, and because I kind of do them a little bit differently, I want to share my method with you and see what you think about it. So first things first is before I tried to make my bullet journal last for the whole year, and then I would put the goals page in the bullet journal in the beginning, which kind of makes sense, but that did not work for me because my bullet journal would not last for the whole year. Then I tried to make it last 6 months, and then I would pick another bullet journal for the rest of the year. Then I also tried to just use a bullet journal for as long as it lasts. In that time, because my yearly goals could not be in the bullet journal itself, it makes no sense if I'm going to buy another bullet journal by the end of the year, I introduced this notebook. It's a binder. I'm definitely going to do a video all about like all the different notebooks I have and what I use them for, including this one. But goals is one of the reasons why I chose to have another notebook besides my bullet journal, to kind of keep like track of my things that are not year related or not time related in that sort of sense. Basically, I just wanted some notebook that I can have to keep track of stuff that take longer to finish than the bullet journal, or otherwise I will have to copy things from bullet journal to the next all the time. For this year, I'm going to use this notebook to set up my goals so that I can have it for 2 bullet journals. This notebook, I did get paper for it, like this one and this one, but I get like a blank sheet of paper which is like double the size, cut it in half and then cut holes. That is about like the technical stuff about how I'm making my goals page. Now I want to talk about how I go about setting my goals or making my New Year's resolutions, how I go about then making sure I can achieve them. First thing first, I always go by category, and I make up like a couple of categories that I think are relevant for my life. And then for each category, I set up a couple of goals. Sometimes they are like something to achieve, just like one thing, do this. And sometimes I try to make it like do something X amount of time. So the first thing is eating fruits and vegetables every day. For some, that seems like pretty easy. And for me, I think also it's not too hard. I already basically track that and try to do my best. But for the next year, I want to set the goal to do it 85% of the time, and you will see that also reaching my step goal for the health part is also to get like 85% of the time. So how did I get like 85? Let's say there are 30 days in a month. If I do it 25 days, which is almost only 1 day a week to not really do it, then 25 divided by 30, you get 0.83, which is 83%. So I just rounded it up to 85. I think it's pretty reasonable. I think it also really depends on what kind of goal you set. I really prefer to like set smaller, like reachable goals and then go over if I can. The same thing goes for my step goal, which I personally set at 4,000, but the average is usually much higher. It's how I prefer to do it, so that I can get like my steps in, and if I feel like it, I can go for more. And why I set it as so low is because even if I'm sick or I'm not feeling really good, I can still reach the goal, and that makes me feel better. And then when I'm actually feeling good, I can push myself to go for much more steps. And especially living in such a walkable city, it's super easy to do that. For fruits and veggies, is also similar topic. It's basically about what you count. Do you count the veggies if they're already in the dish? I don't know. I usually don't count that. So I'm just thinking about side salad or some like snack fruit. That's what I want to do. And when you think about it like that, then definitely 85, I think it's pretty reasonable. Again, I know it kind of seems maybe low for some people, but I think most important part for me is to be achievable. So that's why I say it like that. Next thing is learn. For learning, because I moved to Vienna and I speak German here, my goal was definitely to work on my German more, and this year I definitely want to take some course. We will see which one and when we do that, but for this year is just to take it. And besides that, I do want to work on my German every single day, and that goal is also set for 80%. So that's a little bit less than 85. I think it's still pretty reasonable, and what that means is up to you. And for me, because I already do Duolingo every every single day. I have a pretty good streak, but that's not enough for me. I don't think I'm really learning enough. I want to do either sitting down and doing some prompts or listening to some podcasts or some shows where they speak German, or just sitting down and working on my German like by myself. Especially if I'm already taking a course, just taking some time to do the homework or whatever. And if neither of those things work for me that day because I'm super busy, I think even just doing a couple more Duolingo lessons, I think that would count for me. So next thing is personal. Personal goals is what I consider like something that has nothing to do with other people. So the first thing I said is have and follow routines. It reminds me more of a New Year's resolution than an actual goal, because it sounds more like a wish than actually something you can achieve. It's not really something I can track. I didn't really write like a number to achieve because I don't really know what to put here. I already have some pretty good routines, morning routines and cleaning routines and stuff like that. I already do it pretty good. It's just for me to work on it more and have like a really strong core of my routines that I can rely on. Next one is basically get out of my comfort zone, because I kind of have like some social anxiety and some situations make me kind of uncomfortable. I think for me it's just being able to overcome that. It can be super simple and it could be something much bigger. Sometimes it's just making a phone call, especially now that we live here and have to speak German. It's a whole nother thing that's kind of scary. Basically I said count my wins, which is just to kind of write down what I did to contribute to that goal. And the last one is use more Bujo or my bullet journal, my planner. And that is something that I'm already doing and I always want to do more. I again set it at 85. Again, the same logic is just to make sure that I do it basically every day, and then I can give myself some leeway to have like a couple of days where I forget, or I'm sick or something and I don't want to do it that day. And using more bullet journal again is just beneficial for myself. I know that it helps me, so that's why I want to do it more. Then I put Zillopolis, which is the YouTube channel and like the blog and Instagram and everything that I do. So the first thing is to start a YouTube channel, which is, if you're watching this, it's already happened, right? So that one is start a YouTube channel. Then it's post 30 videos. I think that's pretty reasonable for the whole year. Then it's like earn first $100 and then first 5k subs. I don't know if that's reasonable for the end of the year. At this point, I have no idea, but I want to try my best and we will see. For me, it's just I had to put some number. I think striving for the better in this case is better for me. I don't know. It's just a random number I put. Seems really achievable to me. And then we have like savings or financial goals. For myself, the first one I put is start investing. And again, it sounds like the personal routines one, just start investing. What does that mean? It's just open an account and start doing that. But still, I wanted to put it just because I know that I'm gonna do it. And I just want to have that win, I know I'm gonna achieve it. So it's easy thing to feel like I achieved something. It's a huge step, so I think it really matters that I can cross it and check it. Then it's have a 6-month emergency fund. Having saved money that I can have access to at any given moment is super important for me. And right now it's not at 6 months, and that's why I put it at 6 months. I think that's really important. There are a couple of ways you can go about it. Some people go by 6 months of earnings. Some people go by 6 months of what they actually spend. I think my husband and I will go by how much we spend for the 6 months, because I think that's a really good buffer. And then it's saved 20 to 30% each month, which is based on the 50, 30, 20 goal. But sometimes we can save more depending on the month. So that's why I put between 20 and 30. So the 20 is like the least. However, I already know about this one. I know that it's not gonna be every single month because we're still like new here. So we need to use the money to like buy the furniture and stuff. So right now it's like I will count that as a win for myself if we are able to use that money that we saved to buy the furniture. And the last thing is my relationship with my husband, and I just put to go on 30 dates. And this one is a little weird, I guess, for some people, because it really depends on what you count as a date. Because we already live together and we don't have kids. Every dinner we cook together, we eat together, we usually watch a show together while eating. So does that count as a date? For some people, yes. For myself, that's not what I want, because that's already what we do every single day. Basically, what I'm thinking about is let's count those things that you would put on a calendar. It doesn't have to be outside, although I would prefer that we go somewhere and do some stuff outside. We have so much to try here. But even if we are staying inside, let's make it a special night, like let's bake cookies together or do some painting together or something that we don't really do every day. Just something that you would put on a calendar to look forward to. That's basically what I'm thinking. So for all of this, how can we track them and how can we turn all of this into habits so that we can actually achieve the thing? So what I did is I made a couple of things here. We will go through them and see how I translated these goals into something that we will track. First thing first, this page is for the mint green ones, which are to achieve 80-85% of the time. Savings is also in this, but I did not put it here because it's easier for me to track it digitally. We already track our spending that way, so it's easier to also track it digitally for the savings as well. For everything else, we have eat fruits and veggies, step goal, German, and bullet journal. We have it here as well. For each month I can also have other trackers. These are only things that I will try to do every single day, every single month, and the others are just like extras that I want to work on that month. It could be something that is supporting this, or it could be some goal that I'm working on for like a shorter period of time. And basically the idea is each month I will track it in my bullet journal for every day, and then here at the end of the month I will write the calculations of how often I actually did it. Like let's say in January we track all of these, and at the end I will just count how many times I did each of the thing, and I will say, okay, I reached my step goal 28 times out of 31, and I will write that down. I can also like calculate the percentage, and I'll write it here, but the idea is at the end to see in the entire year how many times I reached the goal. Same for bullet journal and German. Then we have the other page, and what I did here is just have post 30 videos and go on 30 dates, and here I really prefer to do like a date when I did this and just like some sort of title or something, how I call it. Let's say on 10th of January we went to the museum, and that's a date. So that's the idea, and see at the end of the year how many I fill in. If I go more than 30, that's even better, right? But that's just the idea. And how I choose the number 30 is basically just, okay, there are 52 weeks in a year, and if I do it every weekend, that would be 52. So I'm like, if you take into account all the holidays and stuff, I could be like sick or something. Even for dates, I know that when we have friends or family over, that week is basically not gonna happen. But then again, when we go on vacation, it's gonna happen probably every day, so these things balance out. I know percentage wise it's much less than 85%, but again, I wanted it to be like really achievable and something that I know that I can do. If I go more than 30, I will know that, and for the next year I will set the goal higher. And the same thing with videos, especially because from when I'm filming this, the way I'm thinking right now is I don't know how it's gonna go, so I just want to give myself a little bit of leeway and see how it goes, and if it goes really good, next year will definitely be a higher number. So that's just the logic. Last thing I made is this page, which is the comfort zone one, counting my wins. I chose to go with pages that I already have in the binder and just added some decoration, and I just want to write like one sentence what I did to get outside my comfort zone. I think this is really important to remind yourself what you already did, and you know, stuff that you struggled on this line is not something that you will struggle when you write this line, but it will be a reminder of how far you've come. So that's what I'm thinking about myself. I did not write anything on the back of this one, I don't know why. I'm gonna put them in the binder. Again, I will explain the binder in some future videos and you will see what else I use it for. But right now, this part is going to be like yearly stuff and I will have like these trackers here. I honestly am so excited to use it. I cannot wait to start working on my 2024 goals. And by the time I post this, I'll probably already, like this one will already be done. So a win is a win, that's why this exists.
A few moments later.
It's been about 2 weeks since I made this page and I actually decided to change a few things just slightly, and that is because I watched videos of other people setting their goals and I also watched people talking about starting a YouTube channel, and I think this is kind of unrealistic. And honestly, I didn't really take these two numbers so seriously. I know that I'm just starting, a lot of things to learn, so I more wanted to see what happens, and this is just some kind of goal to strive to. I know it can take over a year sometimes just to get monetized, let alone earn $100. The first paycheck is after you earn your first $100, that's why I put that, but I don't really want to strive more to earn money compared to actually just make stuff that I enjoy and my audience enjoys. And about having 5k subs, I know that that can also be maybe unrealistic, especially for a year, it really depends. So I decided to add milestones in between. First one will be have 1k, and I will also add have 500 subs. So those will be just like some milestones. It's completely fine whichever I achieve. It's more like something to strive to. These numbers are not important on their own. And then one of the things I wanted to do in 2024 is go back to the gym, because I did go in 2023 like at least 8 months regularly, but the problem was that I moved, right? And I definitely want to go back, but I didn't really know which one I want to go to. I have to do some research. It's completely different when you move countries. So I didn't really put that on the list because I was like, that is for sure something something I'm going to do anyway, so I don't really need it on the goals. But on the other hand, another thing I decided I want to do is go to my first therapist appointment. And when I was thinking about adding that one, I was like, it makes sense to also add going back to the gym, because that feels like taking care of my mental and physical health. So I'm gonna add both actually, and I know one is much easier to achieve than the other because I already tried that and I never went to a therapist, so that one will definitely be harder for me, but I really need to at least try. So that's what we're adding. I'm gonna add them, should I add both in health or in personal? I'll add therapist in personal and then gym in the health. And then this one will be, I'll write find a therapist. Honestly, this just goes to show you that goals change all the time. They can change in a week, they can change in a month, they can change in 6 months, so it's really important to keep looking at them, add what you think you need to add, or change slightly some things. You know, you can adjust these numbers, or add some new things, or add milestones. I think that's really important actually. It really depends on how serious you take the numbers and how serious you want to work towards those. And also, if I decide to do even more things like in 6 months, I don't even have to write them here. I can write them in my bullet journal or somewhere else. This is just for the year. Okay. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I really hope to see you in my next one. Bye! You can give me your feedback, and I definitely want to. You know, if I've just goals, I think that's not important.